as we can, even as we move them. See, the thing is, they're underneath a lot of this soil here. And then you got all of them. Just look at them. Oh, look at them running. There's so many of them running right now. I'm trying my best to move just handfuls of isopods. And these guys are used to my handling, so they're not going to panic too hard. But there's a lot of isopods to move here, and the ones who are older are typically a little bit more familiar with me, and the littler ones are a little bit more nervous of me. See? Now what I gotta do is I've got to dig under here. I've got to be real careful and pray I don't hurt anybody. And I gotta lift this batch of soil up and try placing it. Now see, that big one there is going to be fine with me handling him. Watch. Just got to get my hands on him. Oh. Okay, we're lifting this piece of wood up because the reality is we do have to get these isopods from point A to B. And we have lots of them. And again, like I said, a lot of these isopods are very familiar with me, so they're not going to panic too hard. But they're probably going to be a little confused. This isn't going to stress them too much. I'm trying to be gentle with them. And the idea is, in order to prevent them stressing, we've got to kind of move them with some ginger love. We don't want to be too hard on these guys because we don't want to stress them too much, and we do want to move them. So we're going to have to be very careful. Get as many of these isopods safe as we possibly can master. Now, this doesn't mean there isn't going to be some... Come on. Let's try to get everyone out. Okay, now our biggest problem is that this terrarium has a smell. And we can't have that. We gotta take these guys out because apparently this can be like ammonia. The smell that we're catching on to. Like I said, these guys are used to us. So they're not gonna panic too hard. They should be relatively okay by the end of all this. They're a little nervous because they've never had this done, where their whole tank's gotten an overhaul. They've never had this done. This one's familiar with me. And we gotta be gentle with these guys, because it'd be weird if we didn't be careful with them. And we gotta do the vermicomposter and everything else. And we gotta get these guys up and out. We can't leave any men behind. They gotta come with me. These are my babies, so I do my best to make sure that no one gets hurt. The smallest babies are gonna be the hardest for me to catch. And like I said, these guys are incredibly familiar with me, so the familiarity is going to make this much easier than if they weren't familiar with me at all. These guys are very familiar with me. They don't mind me at all. They're a little bit scared because they don't like being picked up, but they're not completely fearful because they know I'm not hurting them. They're used to my moving of them. My moving of these little guys is very important when I'm converting them over. Some of them understand this. Some of them are scared of this. But a great deal of them are kind of familiar that I'm not going to hurt them. They know the chances of getting hurt is slim with me. They trust me. Some of these guys are trying to get out because they know they're being moved and they're ready for the change. Little babies are going to have to come up to me because it's going to be hard to find them otherwise. For these guys, this is probably pretty scary. Because if there's one thing that they are not familiar with, it's this approach to life or death. Now they know, to some degree, what's going on. There's a little baby. There's another little baby. No, we're just kind of converting it over, taking everybody we can. There's a fair bit going on here where they're just kind of hiding. They're understandably a little bit worried. If you look at them, they're a little scared. To assure you this, they're just a little bit nervous. But they'll be okay. And you'll see they quickly search for refuge once I move them. I'm trying to not leave any of my little guys behind. I'm trying to take them all with me. There are so many of them. Because here's the thing. Once all these guys are in the big tank, we can then move some of the smaller objects into the little tank again. Come here. So for now, we're going to move all these little guys from here to the other side. And again, this is only for now because we're going to take a few who want to return back to this side after the ordeal. They know it's not always going to be the smoothest ride from point A to B. There's a baby. It's not really the end of their world. They're just going to be moved, and then they're going to be moved back after I harvest this soil. Come on, guys. Some of them are looking like they don't want to go anywhere. They're trying to run away from my hand. And others are just kind of accepting that they don't want to be alone. There we go. This one over here wants to be taken. Sees what's going on. It's understandable. Okay, we're just taking this first layer off. Got, oh no! Lose one? Hopefully we can find that one again. Oh, these